Apparently, she said this.
Well, apparently, I heard this.
They're Halloween! I've never been on live television before!
Hi, I'm Robert. I have my mom's eyes and her agent, and this is Apparently Pod. Welcome. This is Robert and Gabby. This is our podcast.
Hi.
Today's episode, we're talking about nepotism babies. So we kind of dress as our version.
Nepotism alter ego.
Yeah. What's your nepotism alter ego? Like, who are your parents and what do you do? What do you not do?
My daddy, he just has the money, and he knows Steven Spielberg, the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Did you inherit that list, or is that just happening?
Yeah.
Fun.
I'm also best friends with Kylie Jenner. Sorry.
Well, that just makes sense.
Yeah.
My mom is a famous painter, and my dad is a screenwriter, and so I got into Harvard to get my liberal arts degree. Because that makes sense. Okay, so...
Oh, God.
Just to start off, like, I have, like, a whole notes thing, because I did, like, a bunch of research with articles and videos and stuff. However, if I get something wrong, I'm so sorry. Like, I try to research everything, but, like, there's also so much, and, like, I'm probably missing something about someone, or I got one of their parents what they do for a living wrong, or something. So, like, bear with me. But also, I know we're a month or so late on this conversation, because, like, we are. But recently, Hailey Bieber wore the little Nepo baby t-shirt.
Oh, yeah?
And so, we can talk about it again.
Yeah.
And also because
She did it wrong.
Yes. We have some corrections and critiques for her. And then also as wannabe Nepo babies, I feel like we can talk about it. If everyone's talking about it, then what makes it, like, it's the 21st century. If we want to say something, we can, and everyone will have to hear it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So let's start with the Nepo baby definition. What is a nepotism baby?
What is a nepotism baby?
I'm so glad you asked. A nepotism baby is the child of an industry insider who has likely benefited from their parents' fame or connection while launching their own career. That is what a nepotism baby is. People also say that means their parents are highlighted blue on Wikipedia. Like, if you look up their Wikipedia article, if your parents have their own page, then you probably are a nepotism baby. Mm-hmm. Like, that's also something people have done. So the conversation started in December of 2022 when New York Magazine published an article, and it was the cover of it, about nepotism babies. I also, like, referenced it in the opening because, like, on the cover they said she has her mother's eyes and her agent, which is so slay.
That's slay.
It's so slay. I love how we said slay at the same time.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
That is so slay. Also, the cover is so cute because they have, like, babies and then they have the actors' faces on it. That sparked everyone on Twitter and online and social media to, like, start chiming in, and then it just became worse when all the celebrities decided to also have an opinion on things. Mm-hmm. And then it was also enhanced because then The Vulture posted a breakdown of, like, everyone they considered nepotism babies and who their parents were in the industry. And so I want to ask you, before we get started, who do you first think of when I say, like, nepotism baby? Like, who's the first nepotism baby? Or, like, the nepotism baby?
Oh my gosh. Maybe I don't want to say the Kardashians.
Well, if that's who you think of, like, it's not like you think they're, yeah. If that's who first comes to your mind, that's your answer.
Yeah, the Kardashians do, but I feel like Hailey is more
giving nepotism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is your favorite nepotism baby? At least before we start getting into, like, different people and stuff.
Dakota Johnson.
Okay. Okay.
Because I read the article a little bit. I skimmed it, and it said Dakota Johnson. Oh my gosh, where is it? I screenshotted it because I didn't want to copy and paste. Did I screenshot it? Oh yeah, it says third generation Nepo baby with the confidence to take down Ellen.
Yeah.
I love that.
She's third generation Nepo.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know your Nepo is strong.
Mm-hmm.
You have generational Nepo. It's like not even just from just your parents. It's like also their parents are famous. It's like, oh wow, you're gonna be.
Oh, also,
a part of it.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes, she has. Yes, we're definitely gonna talk about her. She has. Not only is she like a famous Nepo baby, she talks about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely a lot to say about her. Okay, so nepotism isn't new, especially in Hollywood. The Lumiere brothers, who are some of the earliest filmmakers, some of their first movies they filmed featured their own kids. So nepotism is always gone on. But let's talk about some current examples or current like people who are at least recently famous. But before we do that, some people throw around the term nepotism like too loosely, like with too generous with the word nepotism babies, where it's like, oh, their dad's brother's daughter's cousin was a set designer on this film once, and so they have industry. It's like, I don't know if that makes like.
I don't know about that.
Like, let's keep the word nepotism maybe have like a strong meaning to like people who. Like, you compare that to, like, other examples we'll use, and it's, like, your neighbor's friend's college roommate's uncle knew Steven Spielberg. It's, like, okay, that's, like, comparable to Steven Spielberg's daughter trying to become a director and actually is becoming a director. Like, that is not the same level. So there's levels to nepotism babies. So, as I go through the examples, tell me which ones you already knew and which ones are surprising.
Okay.
And which ones are, like, that's such an nepotism maybe, or like that barely counts. The first one is Jamie Lee Curtis. Her dad is Tony Curtis, who's an actor, and her mom was Janet Leigh, who's an actress.
The actress, Psycho.
Yes, and so how do you what's your level of nepotism maybe, like on 1 to 10?
Oh, I would say like
1 on like self-made and 10 on didn't lift a pinky.
I would say like a 7 or 8.
Okay, slay.
Because her mom, I mean, that would like Psycho. That's such a like, I don't know, a timeless movie. I feel like everyone like talks about it all the time. And yeah, Jamie Lee. When was her first role?
Halloween was like her breakout role.
Oh, okay.
And they obviously probably casted her because her mom was in a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense for her to be the it girl for a new horror movie. Like,
Yeah.
I do think it is like an 8 because obviously she's done a lot with the career,
Mm-hmm.
and once that door got opened, but you can't deny that they had to have been like, we should cast her because that would be so good if her daughter was
The Scream Queen.
Yeah, literally. Next we have Drew Barrymore, who's John Drew Barrymore is her dad, is an actor, and then Jade Barrymore is an actress.
She's the nepotism baby for sure, but I love her so much.
Oh, yeah, she's really good.
Yeah. That's like a 9.
We have Willow and Jaden Smith.
Oh.
Will Smith, an actor, and Jada Pinkett Smith, an actress, are their parents. There's 2 of them, so it's a full family business, which is something people say. Like when we get to arguments about what in responses from celebrities, family business comes up a lot. Any thoughts about them? Do they make you want to whip your hair? Do you fall in love with an emo girl?
Ew! Stop it!
I know she should not have done that.
Ew. Yeah, they're. I've heard things that Jaden is just like an asshole. So that's crazy. Actually, not surprising.
Yeah. We had Maud Apatow is next.
Mm-hmm.
Who people that like that since Euphoria was just big right before the conversation happened, that obviously she was a big part of it. Judd Apatow is her dad, a comedian and a director. And then Leslie Mann is her mom, an actress.
I love Leslie Mann.
Yeah, both of them are that's like one of those like you have a double hitter like the Smiths. It's like you didn't just get one famous parent, you got 2.
Yeah.
And like big ones too.
Yeah, that's a 9. But
Yeah.
it's so cute. Like in what is it? This is 40. You see them as like little kids.
Yeah.
They're acting in it, and it's so
Apatow
cute.
kids have been in his films for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next we have Kate Hudson. Bill Hudson is her dad, a musician, and Goldie Hawn, an actress, is her mom. who then married Kurt Russell, who's an actor, when she was like really little. So Kurt Russell's her stepdad, and she actually considers him like another father. So she has like multiple ties.
Yeah, that's
Dakota Johnson, Don Johnson, an actor, is her dad, and Melanie Griffith, an actress, is her mom. We talked about her already as your favorite so far.
Yeah.
Then we have Sofia Coppola, which Francis Ford Coppola is her dad, a director, and he's like a major Hollywood figure. Like the Coppola name is really big in Hollywood in directing and filmmaking. Like if you have that, because also her mom then is Eleanor Coppola, who's a filmmaker. She's the only child of them, and so she got like all of their stuff from them. Fun fact, Nicolas Cage is also a nepotism baby. His last name actually is Coppola because his uncle is Francis Coppola.
Oh, wow.
But he changed it to Cage because he didn't want to be associated with them anymore because he wanted to make a name for himself. So that is true. Yes. So you didn't know Nick Cage was a nepotism baby?
I mean, I felt like he was somewhere. I just didn't know who the parents were. I didn't know he changed his name.
Yeah. This one I didn't know. Liza Minnelli is a nepotism baby.
I
Her mom is Judy Garland. Why didn't no one tell me that?
know that.
No one talks about that. I did not know at all. I was literally gagged when I read that. I was like,
yeah.
Judy Garland is her mom? Also, that's like, there has to be nepotism. Because like you're both going the same exact Broadway route, movie route. Like, okay.
And
Judy
Garland.
That's
Judy
like
Garland.
icon. That's like if one of your parents are like Elvis, like if one of your parents are like in icon status, that's like more than like, oh, my dad directed like a few movies. It's like, okay, but you have a heavy hitter as a parent.
Yeah.
Like the money that you have behind you is a whole nother thing. Ben Platt, Mark Platt is his father, he's a producer. Mainly he got into the nepotism conversation because his dad produced the Dear Evan Hansen movie and he was casted in the lead when he's like 30-something when he's playing a high schooler. And people were like, the only reason he got cast is because his dad's producing it. So, yes.
I saw that. I was like, that is weird. Like, where?
Yeah. He's one of the ones who's like, you wouldn't think he has strong nepotism ties, but then because of like a specific role that's like almost directly because your dad is the one doing it is like why that happened. There's Zoe Deutsch. Her dad is Howard Deutsch, a director, and her mom is Leah Thompson, an actress. Fun.
Okay.
Maya Hawke, who also people talked about because Stranger Things was big. So then we have
Uma
Ethan
Thurman?
Hawke is her dad an actor, and Uma Thurman is her mom an actress.
I mean, those are pretty big.
Yeah, that's like because that's
Shoes.
another one. You have two parents who are have big names. Lily Collins, her dad is Phil Collins, the singer, which I did not know that. So that one was surprising to me. We have Beanie Feldstein. Her dad is a business manager, which like sounds like it's not entertainment related, but he's like for entertainment people, like a business manager for them. And then her mom is a costume designer, and you're like, okay, maybe. But her brother is Jonah Hill. So they have a little.
It's Jonah Hill.
It's a family business. Also, because it's like if your dad's a business manager, he knows people.
Yeah.
That's like it may not be, he's not an actor. Yeah, but it's like he's working in the industry. So like the costume designer's like that's a stretch, but like yeah, they have ties. Gwyneth Paltrow, her dad is a director, Bruce Paltrow, and then Blythe Danner is her mom, an actress. Apparently, I don't know who these people are, but I think when I was looking up, they were famous. So, then we have the Gyllenhaals, Jake Gyllenhaal and Maggie Gyllenhaal, who their dad is Stephen Gyllenhaal, director, and their mom is a screenwriter. So, they're known as nepotism because it's like both of them. That's like one of the things that's like when both of the kids do it. It's like we have Angelina Jolie. Von Voigt is an actor. Her dad, and Marceline Bertrand. Her mom is an actress. Some of these names, it's like, listen, I was not around back then. I do not know these people.
I don't know who that man is.
Okay, then we have Billy Lloyd, who Billy Lloyd definitely comes up because her mom is Carrie Fisher and her grandma is Debbie Reynolds. Debbie Reynolds. So that's one of the you're generational Nepo baby. Like Nepoties are strong.
I also love her.
Also, all of Meryl Streep's kids, like all of them are Nepo babies, because they get into acting and stuff. Then we have Ben Stiller. His dad is Jerry Stiller, an actor. His mom is Anne Minra, an actress. I'm trying to sub out these names.
Just do your best.
There's only like a
sweetie.
few more. So, Josh Brolin, who played Thanos. He's a Nepo baby. His dad is James Brolin, an actor who married Barbara Streisand.
Oh.
So I was watching a video where someone was talking about that one, and like Thanksgiving must be so weird with Barbara Streisand and Thanos at the Thanksgiving dinner table. Like, funny girl, like what is going on? That's so weird. And then Kyla Gerber, her mom is Cindy Crawford, a model, and she's also a model. So like, creative of you. And then there's just a bunch like Emma Roberts, Olivia Jade, the Kardashian Jenners, the Hadids, John David Washington, Miley Cyrus and Noah Cyrus, Chet Hanks and Colin Hanks, George Clooney, Paris Hilton, and Hailey Bieber / Baldwin. So that's just like a few examples of different.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Lily Rose Depp.
Oh, she's also on here. She's just where is she? Oh, she's in the responses. Yes, Lily Rose Depp, the child of Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis. I don't know who that is.
Paradis.
But yeah. So if you're a Nepo baby, the difference is when you have a hobby or something, someone was saying this, like, if, like, oh, you want to go singing with your mom, you would do that in a talent show if you're a normal person. If you're a Nepo baby, J-Lo's daughter sang with her at the Super Bowl. That is
Northwest, what are those? These are clothes.
yeah.
What
The
are
difference of,
those?
like, they're just having fun with their family. The difference is, like, publicly. Ours is not the same. Another example is Brooklyn Beckham, who's the son of David Beckham, and who's the soccer player, and Victoria Beckham, the model. Like, people normally know the Beckhams, but like if you didn't, and he tried soccer, he tried modeling, he got into photography. People use him as an example of like when you get into a new habit or like a new interest, a hobby, and you like buy a bunch of paint and then you don't use it for 2 weeks later. It's like.
No,
That's
shut
your
up.
thing?
Didn't he put out a photography book? And everyone was
Yes.
like, what is this?
Yeah, it's like blurry photos of elephants. There's like mirror selfies with his iPhone in the photography book. Yes. He also got into cooking and was on the Today Show cooking an egg sandwich. He literally was making bacon and then he like set it on the like paper towel, like, oh, then you dry it off. And like the TV host could not even pretend to care.
Oh.
It's like, what?
What is
Imagine
going
you
on?
like I've had friends who get into photography and stuff. Or, like there was like the whole time period, especially when Instagram was really big. Everyone thought they were a photographer, even like if you weren't. And so people just bought nice cameras and made photography accounts. He came out with a whole book that you could buy that was in stores that like people have on their like the coffee books of photography. Give me a break. That is not the same. Oh no, I must sneeze.
Bless you. Dab on him.
Ew, no.
Sorry.
But yeah. So, reason we're talking about nepotism babies. Yes, I am jealous of nepotism babies.
I wish I was a nepotism baby.
What? How do you think? Well, I guess I don't know. I was gonna say like, what do you think would be different if you're a nepotism baby? But I guess you don't.
If I was a nepotism baby, I mean,
You wouldn't have to have a day job.
yeah, I wouldn't have to have a day job. My music would be blaring everywhere.
True. You would have a record label deal.
Yeah, our podcast would be like
Famous.
so
Well,
big.
we would have more views at
Yeah.
least. Like it could still be bad, but like
Yeah.
people would be like, oh my god, those kids are like.
Yeah, we would actually have a studio, like
Yeah, it wouldn't be in my studio apartment.
yeah. There's a lot of things that could have happened. I would have had a bed.
I do want to be I want my kids to be nepotism babies.
Yeah.
That is a goal. So it's like this conversation is really interesting when it comes to nepotism babies. Like if they're good or bad. That's kind of something we'll be talking about. And it's like, do you think nepotism babies are good or bad? And we'll find out. Okay. So first complaint about nepotism babies is they're not doing enough with their nepotism. Some of them. Like you were kind of talking about Hailey Bieber earlier. It's like, if I had some of these connections with these people, I would be doing so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would be Brooklyn Beckham. I would be releasing a photography book if I was into photography.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is what I would, like, stop just sitting around doing nothing. Come out here and hit the streets. Like, I don't know. Go through all those doors. The doors are open.
I wish she could have stayed doing something because she was a dancer. She was a ballet dancer.
Hailey
Yeah.
Baldwin? Or Bieber?
Yeah, she was a ballet dancer. She was like pretty good, but she just like doesn't do it.
Now she wants to be a model. Well, I guess not anymore. Now she doesn't need to do anything. But
And
like,
she's just like a stay-at-home wife.
I also get that because it's like I would also want to do nothing, but like, the potential is there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so now we're gonna take a second to be a little serious. So we're gonna talk about meritocracies. And like a meritocracy. That is when that's like a system that's run where people are selected based on their skill and abilities. People want to think that Hollywood is a meritocracy. And so when you find out about the nepotism babies, that's why people got annoyed and upset, especially when like one of your favorite celebrities you realized was a nepotism baby and you thought that they were just selected based on their skill and ability. But Ben Stiller, who we talked about earlier as a nepotism baby, he said, I have this in quotes, but this is not in quotes. Like everything I talk about, this one said, I'm paraphrasing. I try to use the words they use, but like I also like didn't want to write a entire freaking. These people talk about in essays. Like it's like, oh my god, shut up. He said, show business as we all know it is pretty rough, but ultimately it is a meritocracy. So a lot of people think show business is a meritocracy, which no, because they think it runs based on like hard work means success. And that is how it goes. Obviously, it's like there's a lot of other privileges besides just like your parents are famous that go into it. Ben Stiller said that when he was in a Twitter argument with someone else who was talking about diversity not being in show business. It's like there's a lot of factors that go into Hollywood and making it famous besides just like parents being famous aren't the only privileges you can have. Like there's less women in the field. There's less people of color. There's less people with disabilities. Like, there's less everything on the screen. And so it's like, no, it's not a meritocracy because the most talented people aren't always sitting at the table.
Yeah.
We can even go with, like, the Oscar nominations. It's like there's always people left out of the conversation. Mm-hmm. Even if they do an outstanding job, they have to work 10 times harder to get to the same place. Mm-hmm. Which isn't saying that someone else who is at the table isn't talented. Sometimes that is true. Sometimes there is nepotism babies who aren't talented who are at the table. But there's also, like, nepotism babies who do work really hard and are at the table. And that doesn't mean that just because you had a privilege doesn't mean you're not talented. Which is also something we'll mention. Because people... When we get to the responses, there's been a lot. Something else to point out that people argue about nepotism babies, celebrities specifically, is that The Guardian did a study that by the age of 30, 22% of American sons end up working for the same company at the same time as their fathers. So it's not just a Hollywood thing. Isn't everything... I think that's a crazy number. 22%.
Yeah.
You work... I mean, it doesn't mean your dad owns the company, but it's like you work at the same company as your dad.
Yeah.
At the same time. I think it makes sense. I mean, 22% isn't like super high.
Yeah.
But it's like almost a fourth.
I feel like it's very common if like people work in like labor jobs, like
I was thinking of landscaping.
construction.
Yeah. I mean, also
electricity.
Maybe it's because like where we live.
Yeah.
But like I think of those kind of jobs. Like yeah, that's true. I haven't worked at the same place as my dad though, yet.
Yeah.
And I'm not 30 though, so who knows? Maybe I will. I don't see that happening.
Oh my god, that'd be crazy.
So nepotism formed from a lot of things in general, like obviously this privilege in general, but also people credit wages not increasing and unpaid internships as one of the like main reasons nepotism is so prevalent in Hollywood specifically, because and just also in other industries, because when you have like in order to get an unpaid internship, you have to have money or go into debt or do something else to get that experience in the field. Mm-hmm. You don't have that if you're just a normal person. And so if the nepotism babies are able to do those unpaid internships because they have rich parents. Rich people in general are able to do that because you have rich parents. And so that you get the experience. And so then there's also not a motivation for them to get rid of unpaid internships or unpaid labor in general or low paid wages or anything, because there's people who are going to do it because they can afford it. They can afford to take that pay decrease for the experience where other people can't. Mm-hmm. And so then there's no motivation for them to get rid of it, which is continues the system going, which is a whole different thing. But that's like a whole that goes into like a deeper conversation. But that is like the backstory of like why nepotism babies are able to get more opportunities than like another person because there's less barriers that they face.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously nepotism babies are born into it. It is not a choice because you can't choose to be a nepotism baby or not. And now the question is, who deserves it and how do you think someone can deserve it?
Oh.
I love wearing these glasses. I feel so smart.
Yeah, you look smart.
Thank you.
I feel like if they know they're a nepotism baby and they're like, yeah, but they are actually working hard and you see it. You know what I mean? Like Lily Rose Depp, I mean, she's like 5-something. Modeling?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Like, why did like modeling agencies lower their standards for her and like not for other people who
Is there anything you think she could do to deserve the seat in the
be
modeling
taller?
industry?
I don't know, but at that point, I mean, she's getting into acting, I guess. With
Oh yeah, because she's doing that one weekend show. Right?
yeah, so I mean, we'll talk about it later after we watch it.
Yeah,
I
like,
guess to see if she's like good.
she's a good actress.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you were her, and you wanted to do modeling, and they let you do modeling, even though like you're short, like, would you not take it because you're like, oh no, you're lowering your standards for me? Like, how would she be able to take the opportunity without making people be mad?
Oh, I have no idea. Honestly.
Do you think she just has to deal with it? Like, people are gonna be mad, but like, who cares? I'm the one on the runway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what she does now, but
Yeah, I guess that's true.
it's just weird because, yeah, I mean, if you get presented with those opportunities, it's like, how can I not? But then it's like, it's a little unfair for everyone else
True.
who like works hard, who doesn't have their parents backing them up with their fame.
Okay, wait. So before we get into the arguments, because I was just where I bring up some arguments that nepotism babies say, like, or people say in defense of nepotism babies. Where do you stand on how you feel about nepotism babies?
I mean, if they're actually talented, like, go them.
Yeah. So like in general, though, in a scale, it's like, are we indifferent? Are we like mostly annoyed at them? Are we like actually mad at them?
I'm not
Do
mad.
we not give a fuck at all?
I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
It's just with the ones who like don't do it, like they're just
Who serve
horrible,
nothing? Yeah.
who serve nothing,
Who wear a shirt that says nepotism baby
and take it
don't-
off
and
like to
don't-
go out in public. Like, what? If you're
don't
gonna
give
commit
anything.
to the Nepo baby shirt, wear it like how Paris Hilton did when
Yeah.
she who wore that dump him shirt? Was it Paris Hilton?
I don't remember. I think so.
But Paris Hilton, she was like wearing those shirts, and those were iconic. Like, if you want to be an icon, do that in public.
Also, like, serve with it. Like, if she... Let's listen to Twitter when she... we're talking about Hailey Bieber. When she wore the nepotism baby shirt, or just a Nepo baby. She was... The tweet said, like, this is just further proof that some people have it and some people don't. Because, like, some people just don't. And people criticize Kendall Jenner a lot for her modeling. Like, she just doesn't have it. Like, Kylie's a better model than
Kendall.
Kendall is. It's like... yeah. People just... Because in Hollywood, there is an it factor. And so, if you don't have the it factor, no matter how talented you are, you won't go anywhere. Like, that's just how it is. And so, when these people are nepotism babies, they have these doors open for them to get further without talent than people who do have talent can get. Because, like, you just don't have the it factor, but they don't either, but they have famous parents who are going to open that little door. And who
Yeah.
say, oh, this is good for publicity because this already has a famous person attached to it. You get that head start. You get to not have to work in high school at all because your parents are rich and famous, and you get to hang out on film sets and get that experience that other people have to take as an unpaid internship, and then take a second job to do at nights because to learn that
Yeah.
same information. It's just like not, yeah.
Well, the nepotism baby kind of pisses me off, but in a different way. Because
Explain.
okay, so I'm a singer, right? I'm trying to do all these things, but my mom always says, well, you have to work harder. I mean, look at the Kardashians. What do you mean, look at the Kardashians? They all had a famous father. She's like, no, Kim made it by herself. Kim had sex with somebody. Are you kidding me?
Hey, I think your mom is saying you have to do that. She said, look at the Kardashians. You have to work harder. He said, you know what, Mom? I will release a sex tape with a famous rapper.
Yeah.
There's probably plenty of SoundCloud rappers you can have sex with.
Yeah.
Young Gravy.
Ew. Wait. Wait a minute.
Watch, Young Gravy.
DM me.
Yeah, watch him be a nepotism baby. I don't know his life. But I feel like a lot of... Never mind. Okay, wait.
We're getting sidetracked.
But as I say, I feel like a lot of like SoundCloud people aren't nepotism babies. Like, the music industry, I think, is one of the ones that is better at not having nepotism babies than actors.
Harry Styles, all of One Direction.
Like a lot of them, like when people have these getting discovered stories. Also because I've like talked to friends about this before, but like music is different than actors and producers in like movies and stuff because we have like a very direct say in who becomes famous when it comes to musicians. Like if enough people listen to someone, they're going to get those opportunities no matter where they came from. And also if someone has opportunities and they get a record label, if we really don't like their music, they're gonna get dropped. Like they won't be successful. Whereas producers and directors and screenwriters and actors,
if a movie flops, they'll write another one.
And it's harder for us to have a say in, we like this movie, but we wish someone else was cast because we don't have that control. Or like we like this movie, but we don't like who the producer is. That we're not gonna have that much of a say into like getting a different producer because if we all see the movie, it'll be fine. Like that's how it works.
Yeah.
It's like it's there's less audience control is what I mean to say. Okay, so in defense of nepotism babies, people have said some arguments, and so I want you to respond to some of them.
Okay.
The first one is the most common one that says, "We worked so hard for this."
No, you didn't.
Okay. Then some people say, "I never asked my parents for anything."
Well, I mean, that's true.
I call BS on that, though.
I mean, it's true, but, like, that's like not asking your parents, like, I didn't ask to be born. But you were still born.
Yeah, it's like, or like, I didn't, like, you didn't ask your parents for extra money. Like, they mean, like, oh, we didn't ask for the opportunity for them to give us anything. Like, so I did on my own because I didn't ask them to give me money. But then it's like, but did you have a job in high school? Like, but did you have a job in college? Did you have to pay for college? Did you have student loans?
Did you have your parents yelling at you while you were trying to fill out your FAFSA?
Do you know the stress of it? Did you fill out a FAFSA? Like, did you even do that? Like, did you
have to work in a chain restaurant where 5 people were yelling at you at the same time?
Have you ever been to a drive-thru? Do you know customer service? Did you clean your room or did you have a maid do it? Like, there's
do you go get your own food from a fast food restaurant or do you order Uber Eats?
Do you pay for that Uber Eats?
Do you pay for your Uber Eats? Do you pay for your gas?
Do you know how much ham is in the store? If I ask you to go buy a loaf of bread, do you know how much a loaf of bread is?
Did you have a driver when you were younger? Did you have someone drive you to school that wasn't your parents, that wasn't associated with you? They were hired by your parents?
And that's even like, it's also like, did you have an allowance? Like, if you wanted to go to the mall with your friends, did your parents give you $300 randomly to just go?
Or just give you a card? Give you the Amex?
Oh my God. The way I was thinking $300 is so much, but just giving you a card is like even more.
I feel like they just get the card.
They probably do just
okay.
They probably have a card. And it's for like 4 emergencies. And if you're a listener, I'm doing air quotes right now. Quote
unquote 4 emergencies, and then you come back home with an iPad.
But I really need it to text my friends, Mom.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so that's why I call BS on the I never asked my parents for anything, I did it on myself. Okay, next argument. Kids in other industries pursue the same career as their parents and don't receive the same criticism.
Wait, what?
Kids in other industries pursue the same careers as their parents and no one complains about it. They don't receive the same criticism as Hollywood does. Do you have a response?
No.
I say 1, it's a public industry, so like that's why more people who aren't in the industry are talking about it. 2, yes they do. people do criticize it. Favoritism is everywhere, and people criticize it all the time. Like, you may not hear about it, but you're also not at this small business where the manager's son is the worst employee at the restaurant and is slacking off all the time and is doing so bad, but everyone else is stuck with them working there. Like, have you not seen The Office?
Oh my gosh,
Like,
with Evan Peters?
Yes.
And he spanks him?
People do. That does happen in other industries.
Yeah.
And people do complain about it. Like, what are you talking about? Actually, people do complain about it. So chill. Also, I will say other industries are way easier to enter, so less people could complain about it. It's
Yeah.
way easier to get a job at that restaurant that the son's manager already works at than to get that job in that blockbuster movie that the director's son is already acting in.
That.
Like, the barriers to entry are way harder for acting than it is to be a plumber.
That.
So that's why no one's complaining about it, or not. You're not getting the same. You're not the one complaining about it. Next argument. We only get one shot, and if we're not talented, we won't last.
Shut up. Like, yeah, you could be in a movie and people are going to clown on you because, like, you're a bad actor. But guess what? You're going to be like, oh, I just launched a new skincare line. Shut up.
That is so true.
Like, shut up.
It's not one shot, actually. Also, people who are really talented don't get one shot. So I don't know why that's not, like, we only get one shot. You already have one more than everyone else gets. Sorry. Like, and like you said, they're allowed to fail. Where
Yeah.
other people can't fail. Like, if they fail in that movie, they can launch the skincare line. If someone else who has been working the whole time to be a director or an actor and has no connections, if they do bad, there's
That's
no
it.
reason to hire
Yeah.
them again. They don't even have the financial resources to do anything else. That was it. That was their moment in the sun. Okay. This is some responses celebrities and nepotism babies have said. So either, like, this has been some parents of nepotism babies, people who have been called a nepotism baby, people you probably don't even know are related to celebrities, but for some reason decided to open their mouth. So this is what they have to say. Tom Hanks said, this is, like, I have this in quotes, but this is not in quotes. This is not directly what they said. These people talk so much about this so much because people keep asking about it, especially recently. Because every interviewer was like, this is such a good idea to talk to this celebrity about this. Because they probably have something to say. I'm saying that sarcastically. They probably have nothing to say. So I'm paraphrasing all of these people. Tom Hanks said, it's a family business. If we had a plumbing supply business, it would still be the same. I'm just going to let you respond to any of these if you want.
It's not a plumbing business. It's Hollywood, but okay. Sure.
You make way more money than a plumber.
Yeah. You were Forrest Gump. Are you kidding me?
No, yeah. Also,
You were each
Chad Hanks is ridiculous. Like, your son is a clown. He would have been fired from that plumbing company so long ago. But no, he was at the Golden Globes. Like, stop. Yeah, now I'm getting mad. Lily Rose Depp, who we talked about earlier, she said, the internet cares about it more than the people casting the things do. That was her response. Do you have anything? Do you think she's telling the truth? Like,
Wait, what was it again?
she said the people on the internet care more about, like, nepotism babies than the people who actually cast roles do.
That literally what?
Yeah, I specifically, like, with Jamie Lee Curtis. No, they don't. The casting director knew what they were doing,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with it. Well, maybe I don't know, but no, that's, like, not true. Lily Rose Depp, because, like you were saying, she's too short to be a model. Why are you a model then? Like, okay. Next, we have Kate Moss's half-sister. Don't know why she decided to say anything. It's like, you're barely nepotism at all.
Who are you?
Literally, her name is Lottie Moss, but she was big on it. I remember she was tweeting all this stuff. Half the tweets were like, I don't know who you are. Like, the way I know you as Kate Moss' half-sister, yes, that means you're a form of nepotism. Like, get over it. Like, that means you're literally irrelevant. She said, I'm so sick of people blaming nepotism for why they aren't rich and famous. It's obviously not fair that famous families get a leg up, but life isn't fair. Put your mind to something instead of being negative about others. The life isn't fair argument.
Girl, shut your bitch ass up.
Do you have anything to say about that?
She Like, what? These people are insane. They're delusional. They're delusional.
Delusional, honey. Okay, next we have Kate Hudson, who we talked about earlier. She said, I don't really care. It's not going to change. Other industries have it worse. I'll be in a business meeting and the person knows nothing. I'll think about where did they come from? Who's their dad? If you work hard enough and kill it, it doesn't matter. So she she's doing the halfway argument of like, I work hard. Then we have O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Oh my god, what did he say?
The son of Ice Cube.
Yeah.
He was obviously casted as his own dad in the movie.
I loved that though. They look so similar. I love Straight Outta Compton.
No,
I love it so much. Like, they did such good casting. But anyways, yeah.
He said, the door was open for me, but I had to walk through it and thrive. My dad gave me these opportunities, and I would be foolish not to use it. Embrace that generational talent and wealth. Get your ass up and make it work. Leave something for your kids to do the same.
Ooh. I liked that.
No, I do too. I think as we get lower, I think these are supposed to get better.
And that's crazy because he actually did so good at Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, I think he said that
that was his first time acting.
Yeah, he was a USC he was in school for like screenwriting, and which is funny. USC's like right out here.
Oh wow.
And then he auditioned 2 years before he ended up getting casted for it, and he like worked. He did a lot of acting classes and stuff. But like I do like what he said because it's like obviously he didn't choose to be an autism baby, so he's like I am gonna take advantage of it, but also I'm gonna work really hard to make sure I'm actually using it to the potential it can be, which is like what we kind of talked about earlier with like people not embracing it as much. It's like if you're gonna do it, be good at what you're trying to do and use it. Like don't like be Brooklyn Beckham and casually start doing cooking and then make an egg sandwich on the Today Show. Like
learn to cook. Take lessons from Chef Gordon Ramsay. Watch the menu.
Watch the menu. Ask Anya Taylor-Joy how to make a burger.
How do I make a burger? What was in that burger? Ooh,
it looks so good.
On topic.
Should we get In-N-Out?
Oh my god, no. Why am I getting hungry?
No, because why do I also want to do an episode in a car? And I feel like we could...
Yeah. No, from the menu, someone was like, this is the place where to get the burger.
Are they expensive?
No, it's like a little restaurant. Or not like a restaurant, but like
is it in
like
LA?
an In-N-Out. Yeah. I think it's called Monty's Burgers or something like that.
We have to go. Oh, my plant's name is Monty. I didn't water him today.
Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty. Okay. Next we have Lily Allen, who's the child of Keith Allen, an actor, and Alice Au, a producer. She said, we should be worried about the nepotism babies working in law firms, banks, and politics if we're talking about real-world consequences and robbing people of opportunity. I will be the first to tell you I deserve nothing. Many Nepo babies have narcissistic parents and childhood trauma that caused by their parents being away for months at a time. So that was like obviously paraphrasing because she was like talking a lot about it. Okay, first deflecting. Talking about other industries.
Yeah.
Like, okay, still not relevant to like, what's it called? What's that, like, debate? Is it the straw man? It's like something like you're talking about something else, but it's like, no, we're talking about this though. Like, don't be like, oh, but what about that industry? It's like, yeah, but we're still talking about
Look
your
over
industry.
there.
Literally though, it's like, but we're talking about this. What she said about deserving nothing was like slay. It's like, okay, so acknowledging privilege, which is like a lot of people say.
But like, why do you have to say the beginning part?
Yeah, a lot of people say acknowledging the privilege is the first step to being like a good Nepo baby. I say in quotes. But then talking about how Nepo babies a lot of times have trauma because their parents are away for months at a time. Listen, this is a common plot in Hollywood movies and TV shows all the time where it's like the rich kid has a hard life because their parents don't hang out with them and they have to hang out with the nanny. Like, do I feel bad? Yes. Do I feel bad a lot? Not really. Like, you don't have to worry about money ever, which is like, everyone has a struggle, which is also something that Nepo babies love to say. I just don't believe
But you're still like being provided for.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they left you at home alone.
And they left you at home alone because they're working a double at the ER, like as a nurse.
Yeah.
It's like that's actually not the same.
Yeah.
Like your dad went away for months to make $40 million. Other people's parents went away to work a 7-hour shift at the Outback, and like they're not even gonna make enough for rent. Like, you still will have your electricity bill shut off. Like,
Yeah.
that's not the same.
I grew up fine.
Yeah.
My mom was working, going to school. My dad was in work or jail.
Okay.
And my grandma watched me, but you know, I'm kicking it.
Yeah. It's also like, okay, you had childhood issues. Like, okay.
And
Like, that's not
write something about it. Put it to use.
literally. Like,
Put to use.
but you know they don't have to use it for their college essays. Because their dads could just buy a library. Or, like, pretend they're on the rowing team.
Oh my gosh, one nepotism baby. Sorry, I'm like cutting off.
No.
I just thought of this because I thought of Love Island for some reason. And one of the contestants, her dad is a famous actor in the UK. And so, spoiler alert, she was the one that won the competition, but I think it's just because she had like a good relationship with the guy. So like they stayed together for a bit, but afterwards her dad directed and produced a show for them two, and obviously they didn't stay together for a while.
Oh my gosh.
So like there was only like one season with 9 episodes of them together.
Which is not something normal.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't see any of the other contestants having shows, even the ones that won.
Yeah.
You know, like yeah.
Oh, so this is kind of bouncing off we should talk about law firms, banks, and politics. Meghan McCain, who's the son of John McCain, she's a journalist, but John McCain was a senator, also ran for president. Meghan McCain said, New York Magazine should do a deep dive into politics and news media. Everyone is related to someone, including me. So she wasn't saying Hollywood isn't like it, but she's like, you know what? That's so true, and we should also look here because this is even worse here.
That's slay.
Yeah, that is slay. I also like how she said including me because it's like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't take
You
much.
acknowledge it.
Yeah.
If you're just
It's
like, no, I made it by myself.
not
What?
hard. Yeah, like when you're lying to us, you're not
come on.
self-made. So, Kylie Jenner, you're not a self-made billionaire. Also, the idea of a self-made billionaire is fake. Like, you can't be. That does not make sense. Like, I'm sorry.
Sorry about it.
Like, even like how we said a lot of musicians are like have like the less opportunities. It's like a lot of them have rich parents, or like were able to go in a position that their parents were able to drop everything for their careers, able to move to a new city, able to make sure they got singing lessons, do anything. Because when you look at like the people on The Voice and American Idol, these people are so talented, but that's not what it takes to be famous. It takes more than that. Which is like also a whole nother thing. I'm gonna have to sneeze again.
Dab on them. Bless you.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, now we have Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh!
She loves to talk about nepotism babies. She's a self-proclaimed one of the OG nepotism babies. She says, the current conversation is designed to diminish and hurt. I navigated 44 years with the advantages I was provided. But there are many who are dedicated to her craft and deserve to be at the table. So how I feel about her talking about nepotism babies is very interesting. Because she's always talked about, I watched like a whole bunch of videos and stuff about her talking about it, and she always acknowledges that she got her role in Halloween mostly because of who her mom was. Like, she's very aware of like the privileges she has, but at the same time she gets so annoyed when people are talking about it, and like how she said the current conversation is designed to diminish and hurt, and it's like I think it's more like just to raise awareness that like, so these people don't deserve their place. And is that diminishing and hurting? Probably. But it's also like the conversation should be at the same time talking about the people who do deserve to be there who aren't. And so it's like, that's also uplifting. And yes, you don't have to bring someone down to uplift someone else. But in this case, they're like, Lily Rose Depp is one more person on the runway who is taking a spot from someone else who isn't there. And I mean, also like the idea of a height standard in modeling is like a whole nother.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, it's like, that's should that even be there? But still, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis gives me very mixed.
Yeah.
I have very like, I don't know how I feel about her.
Yeah.
Even the other things she said, it's like,
It reminds me of like a millennial who's like, oh yeah, I am okay with gay people, but my daughter can't be gay.
yeah, like not our family. It almost reminds me of before I came out, because I remember
Not in this house.
one of my friends asked me like what I thought about gay people, and I was like, oh, I don't care. I was like, they can get married if they want. I was like, I'm not gonna go like protest for them or like go in a parade for them, but like they can do their thing. It's like, okay, it's like, it's the difference between like not being racist and then being anti-racist, which I probably shouldn't compare racism to like this. I mean, race does play a role in like privilege, obviously, but not in this exact conversation. But it's kind of that vibe of like, you're like halfway there.
Yeah.
Like you have to go the extra step to like be one of my favorite nepotism babies, but you're like not the worst you could be.
Yeah.
At least you're not like not acknowledging. I don't know. It's like really weird. She's like acknowledging it, but then also like, we work really hard. It's like, yes,
But
you might, and I believe you do.
But
But
what
you're
about these other people?
You're speaking too
Was that
broadly.
me? Or was that Whitney Houston?
Literally. Okay. Then we have Allison Williams, who's the son of Brian Williams, who's a journalist and TV anchor. She was really slay. She says people feel like the subtext when they talk about it is that you're not talented. But there's no conversation about my career without talking about my privilege. It's not a loss to admit it. If you trust your skill, it's really simple to just acknowledge it and move on. Which is so slay. She said, I'm confident enough in my talent that I can say I'm privileged to be here, but I do deserve to be here. Like, she's so right. She's so real for that.
Jamie Lee should have said that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Allison Williams, I think, is younger, so that probably helps. But we have Eve Houston, who's the son of Bono, or the daughter of Bono, who said, "What I was gonna get a Nepo baby tattoo on my ass." Oh, and by the way, the CEO of New York Magazine, who's the one who published the article who started this conversation, is a Nepo baby herself, since her dad bought the magazine in 2004. Which gagged me a bit, because I looked it up, and that's true. Her dad bought it for like, oh my god, I think it was $45 or $55 million. Her dad bought New York Magazine, and now she is the current CEO of it, so it's like...
That's so funny. Why didn't she put herself at the end? That would have been...
I was about to say,
so
she should
funny.
have been on it. So I obviously can't include every response a celebrity has said, but I do want to talk about Jamil Jamal, because, well, once she talks about everything. That's one thing about her. She will talk about it and have a say in something. She's not Nepo baby herself, at least I don't think so, but she put like this whole thing on her Instagram story, and I'm just going to read part of it, because I think it like kind of it does a good job of like, this is what you should say, which I don't always agree with everything she says, but this I think was good. So she said, because the back and forth on this is getting dull, ... which we also are gonna like, we threw our hats in the ring with this, but she said, yes, the nickname Nepo baby must be a little grating and is deliberately patronizing, but that's a bit shit, because you have your own human trials and struggles. But all you have to say is the truth, that while you may have earned your place, your start was handed to you on a silver platter. That doesn't make you untalented, it just makes you extremely lucky, and you just need to acknowledge that and move on. You worked harder than other Nepo babies to get where you are now, sure, but you sure as shit didn't work as hard as the people working 3 shitty jobs to try to eat/make rent while trying to make their wildest dreams come true with zero access against all odds. So let's all just move on. I'm more privileged than an actor with a disability, but I'm less privileged than you. We all exist on a scale of privilege, and to deny it and use the hard work argument is not only petty or pretty ludicrous, but it also pours gasoline on the fire. Which I think was actually like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she ate with that.
She said, who's hungry? Because I'm not.
She said, my silver platter? Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. You see my silver platter? It's empty because I ate.
I'm going to eat off of that. So I will say that I feel like nepotism babies talking about it has only made the conversation worse, and more people getting defensive of it is when people who do have privilege are talking about how hard they worked and how they deserve it. It just makes people who don't have that privilege, who are working harder, only more mad. And so, yes, while Jamie Lee Curtis is saying that conversation is currently designed to diminish, it's like, yeah, because people are feeling so defensive about it because you guys keep defending yourselves about it. And so, like, it just starts this, like, back and forth. You don't have to defend yourself. You're rich and famous. You can't convince us otherwise. Like, even if you lose the argument, you're still the rich and famous one. Like, Lily Rose Depp is going to be the one on the runway. So, okay. So now we're almost done. But now, to beat the Nepo baby label, which people say is when you become more famous or successful than your parents or the person who gives you it. Who do you think has beaten the Nepo baby label? I have like 2 examples that people always bring
Oh,
up,
I have no idea. I feel like I don't.
People always say Miley Cyrus did.
Yes.
They said that she was paying the bills when she got Hannah Montana, and that her dad may have gotten her that role, but
No, I
she
saw
was
it.
paying
It
the
was
bills
so
since-
funny. It was like after like Miley got the role, Billy Ray had to audition to be in it.
That's so funny.
I know.
People also say Angelina Jolie because she's like ridiculously more famous and successful than her parents were. Those are just two examples. People also say another way to beat the label is to acknowledge your privilege, and use your platform for good, because you have less to lose than other actors because of your situation. People talk about Jane Fonda. Her dad was Henry Fonda, an actor, and she spoke out against the Vietnam War and was effectively blacklisted from Hollywood. But she was able to do that because she had the platform and knew you can't actually give it of me. Like, good luck. My parents are famous.
That's slay.
And just like another one is Rowan Farrow, who's the son of Woody Allen, so director, and then also Mia Farrow, an actress. But he's a journalist and investigated into Harvey Weinstein and was the one who published about it in the New Yorker, who started the whole like Harvey Weinstein stuff.
Oh wow.
So that's also really slay.
Yeah.
Because he's able to put his name on the line, whereas other journalists would risk a lot more than someone who's the child of Woody Allen and Mia Farrow. Like that's famous. Like that's another double hitter.
Yeah.
Okay, good for you. So that's about like the Nepo babies and like how you could beat the labels and stuff. How do I feel about them? I'm honestly just indifferent. Like, I think it doesn't take much to be a quote unquote good Nepo baby, because it's like obviously you didn't choose it, but it is a privilege you have to acknowledge, just like any other privilege. Like it's like use your platform for good. Yeah. Like you have a seat at the table that is less likely to go away than other people's seats. So I think it's indifferent on a general scale, and then when it comes to specific people, I'm more mad than other people, if that makes sense.
I feel the same.
I was gonna ask you how you felt about them.
Oh.
Do you have any new favorite Nepo babies?
The one that got blacklisted.
Jane Fonda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super slay.
No, yeah, her and Rowan Farrow are definitely two of my favorite Nepo babies.
I totally forgot about Billie Lourd. I love Billie Lourd.
See, I also feel like she's a good actress.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm, like, it's like, okay, I don't know what she said. I didn't look her up specifically. I don't know if she said anything about, like, her
about it
advantages.
in general,
Or, I don't know if she's like, I worked so hard and, like, doesn't think she had any privilege, because then I'll be mad. But I would say I do like her, even though she's the third generation. She has strong Nepo baby ties. She's still eating. One of Meryl Streep's daughters is in, like, this new show or something, and it's so bad, apparently. Like, the videos watching about it, they were like, there's extras who are eating her up. Props are doing a better job at acting.
Oh my
than her.
god.
And then there's apparently people on Twitter who will be like, oh my god, poor Meryl Streep having to pretend that her daughter did good on the show. Like when she's like, Mom, how did I do? And like, you did great, sweetie. Completely lying.
Oh,
like, your mom is one of the most famous and best actresses ever, and you cannot even out-act the lamp. We have an issue.
Out.
So I don't know who my least favorite Nepo baby is. Probably the ones
Chet Hanks.
Yeah, he probably doesn't think he's a Nepo baby. The ones who think that they just worked hard to get there, those would be my least favorite. Easily. So yeah, I feel like I talked a lot, but that's like, well, I found out about Nepo babies.
Hopefully you learned something.
I know I did when I was looking it up.
I know I did.
I mean, I did not know Liza Minnelli was.
I know.
I feel like I should have known. Like, that sounds like something that people
Yeah.
talk
Well,
about.
I've heard people talk about Liza Minnelli, but it's just one of those names I always hear. But it's like I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know who she is, but yeah.
I don't know who she is.
We'll look it up. We'll watch things. But
And I know who Judy Garland is.
okay. Do you want to go into weekly obsessions then, or do you have any final thoughts?
What's my weekly obsession? I'm sorry, I don't mean to be screaming to this microphone. You go first.
Oh my god. Oh, my weekly obsession?
Yeah.
My Squishmallow Donovan.
How did I know you were gonna say your Squishmallow?
Because I got one like last week. Because I've been wanting one. I wanted like a big brown one so it like match like my room, and he's over there on my bed right now. He's so cute.
You know what I've been obsessed with?
No.
Looking at
You asked.
looking at Pinterest to look at stuff for my new apartment, or looking at like apartment like DIY stuff.
Because you're moving.
Yeah, I saw one where someone made like
Oh,
a
wait.
rug that looks like moss.
Oh, no, I love all those rugs.
Yeah,
love
I
rugs
want to
like
make
that.
one.
Oh, yeah, you
I'm
showed
gonna
me.
make one, yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've updated the viewers that now you do have a new place to move.
I do have a new
and
place.
you will be moving.
Me and my roommate, Amani. I used to just say me and my friend Amani.
I was like, why are we like talking like this?
Yeah. We're gonna go pick up the key this
When?
week.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
That's so fun. So tell us all your new address.
Oh my god. No, why did I have a dream? Someone like commented on our video, what's your P.O. box so I could send you guys stuff.
Oh, that'd be so cute.
I know.
But also, like, don't.
Yeah.
Like, we're fine. Just subscribe.
Yeah. Tell your
actually,
friends. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Just subscribe. Also. Subscribe and watch. Like. Listen. Follow. Rate 5 stars. What else are the things you can do on... Also depends where you are. If you're on YouTube, you have to subscribe, like, comment, share, that stuff. If you're on Spotify, you have to rate 5 stars, follow. Is there a like?
Share.
Share also. Love share. Let's be like grassroots, guys. Let's go by word of mouth. Yeah.
Yes.
God. So this was also a different format than our other videos, obviously, because this was like way more like topical and researched and like scripted.
Not our crazy,
erratic
selves.
So next week we'll probably be back to being erratic, but every once in a while we might do one of these episodes like this.
Yeah.
If like one of us has something we want to like talk about, so hopefully you didn't mind it. Gabby's showing off her boots.
My Nepo fit.
Oh yeah, wait. I need to put my glasses back on to be a nepotism again. I'm giving the son of Tom Hanks.
I'm giving Kardashian.
So cute of us. Well, bye. Stay
Bye. Stay
Nepo.
slay.